Buddy, so in this video, we're going to talk about a lot of subjects in regards to Walt Disney World's reopening, some new merch coming from Disneyland. I have a very, very special guest with me today. It's Ian from Opinion. Ian, welcome to the channel. First time.
Hey, hi, Christopher. Thank you. It's great to finally get our heads together and talk about some stuff. I've been wanting to do a collaboration with you for a while, so thank you for having me on. And yeah, we do have a lot to talk about. If you want to find me, because Orange Grove 55 is so nice to have me on as a guest, I'm going to shoot him some information on how to find me on YouTube. I have a YouTube channel. I have an Instagram. So you are more than welcome to check out both our channels, and we'd love to have you.
Perfect, Ian. Well, thank you for coming on board. And I will also be linking a link to his channel above. So feel free to click on that and give him a like, subscribe, watch his content. He does great stuff. So Ian, let's talk about some Disney. There's a lot of stuff going on right now. And the first thing I really want to talk about, the elephant in the room, is Walt Disney World officially reopened. Yes. And there's been a lot of controversy or talk about, is it too soon? Are they kind of jumping the gun here? What are your thoughts on reopening Walt Disney World in the, this whole COVID-19 situation?
Right. Well, I was reading up about it, and one of the things that is of concern to some people I know is that as of last Saturday, I don't know if it was on that day alone or if it was since then, in Florida, they've had 10,000 new cases. Now, I know that there's all this speculation about, is that due to actual getting it, or is that due to the amount of tests that are available? So I know that they're getting some heat because they're opening during kind of a, for lack of a better word, spiky time. and so, and that, I think that it's okay. I think it's okay to start doing these things with some measures in place, which it seems that they've been very, they wanted to get that information out before anything. They've been very here's what we're going to do. Here's the measures that we're putting in place. And aren't they taking reservations as well?
They are, yeah.
So do you have to book your spot before you go in?
That's a good question. I think that for certain, no, you do. To get into the park, you have to book your spot before you can get in. And there are certain tiers, so for hotel guests or whatever, they have they were able to book their spot a day before. Annual pass holders were able to do it a day or two after that. So yeah, you do need a reservation to actually get into the parks, and it's reduced capacity. So they're not going to go.
Oh, definitely. Have you seen the side-by-side comparisons? Here's a busy summer day and here's yesterday. And it's waiting for a tumbleweed to go flying through the picture. I think what they did was they're leaving it in people's hands. And I think that that's smart. People can choose to go, okay, I'm ready for this. I'm prepared to be around a substantially larger amount of people. I can take my own precautions. You have to wear a mask. There's things that the public has to do as well. So I think leaving the choice up to people if they want to participate in that or not is a smart choice, as long as they lay out the rules ahead of time. Here's what to expect.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree with you. And, I think there comes a point where I've seen the argument made where, people want to keep it shut down, basically until there's a vaccine or until, I don't know, indefinitely until things calm down. I just don't know if that's the best decision, because really, even with the vaccine, let's say best case scenario, let's say we get a vaccine next month. Okay, and that's extremely optimistic. It's not going to happen. But let's just say in a perfect world, we get a vaccine next month. Even with a vaccine, that's not going to be a cure-all. I mean, you're still going to have, even with the flu, you still have people dying every year from the flu. 60,000 people a year die from the flu, even with a vaccine.
Right.
So, okay, so we have a vaccine and people still die from COVID. Is that okay? Are we still, I mean, how is that any better? I think as a society, it's always been kind of my position that we should kind of learn to evolve. And I think that's what we're doing. I think we're opening things up. You're going to wear a mask. You're going to try your best to social distance. And that's really the best we can do. I mean, I think that Disney is right to reopen. I mean, what else can they do? They can't possibly stay closed indefinitely. What if a vaccine never comes,
Yeah, and I think that is that is very, very, very hopeful that it would be sooner than later. But people have, obviously this is a very real thing. It's a very serious thing, but we do have to start learning how to function a little more normally with it, or else we can't stay shut up. We can't stay away from our jobs for the rest of the time. Things have definitely shifted and evolved, like you said, but we do have to find ways to safely push through these moments. And something else that I think is really important about Disney taking a step as a world-renowned theme park, towards opening, is that they're going to set some of the standards as to what's going to work and what's not going to work. And I think at a time when a lot of industries right now, especially entertainment, like Broadway's closed, movie theaters are closed, all that stuff is closed. We have to start thinking about how are we going to get back to those things, because they can't stay closed. Entertainment and theme parks and movies and our culture. I mean, that's basically our culture. They're vital. I know that so is working, so is infrastructure and all of that. But for our sanity as humanity, we have to be able to start to enjoy those things again, because really everyone's been cooped up.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's a free for all. I'm not saying that everybody just go out and nothing matters and just no, of course, do it safely, be respectful of other people's spaces.
Absolutely.
But we have to have elements of our culture back just for our own well-being, and so that we remember that there is something here. Maybe that's too idealistic of me. I don't know. But I think it's pretty important, and who better to do it, to start setting those standards, at least for theme parks, than Disney.
Yeah, no, absolutely, Ian. I mean, I agree with you. I mean, you have to start somewhere, and this is a disease or a virus, or that might be with us for a very long time, even with a vaccine. And I think the best thing we can do, like you said, is kind of try to get back to normal. Try to reopen and have these things reopen with safety measures in place. So yeah, I would agree. I don't think it's too soon to reopen Disney World. I think they should reopen. I mean, Universal's already been open for a long time. SeaWorld has been open. I mean, in Florida at least, they've been open for a while.
Yeah.
Why not? Yeah, I think it's time to do it. I think it's time to do it. And I think that, look, if someone has an autoimmune problem, or if they're elderly, or they have pre-existing conditions, then those people should definitely take extra measures to not be exposed. Stay home,
of course,
stuff like that. But if you're, a younger-ish person and you're healthy, you don't have any pre-existing conditions, I don't see any problem with going to Disney World and wearing a mask. I mean, I think that's reasonable.
No, I'm very curious about, because I was looking at the measures that they're actually taking, like what are they doing? And have you seen some of the stuff?
I see a little bit of it, but go on. I want to hear from you. Like what's going on?
Well, they did like on Snow White's Seven Dwarfs Mine Train ride. You know how because queues pass back and forth like this.
Right.
Now they put kind of these vinyl dividers that kind of look like shower curtains to cover the space from like waist up to the ceiling for guests. And so it's like a brown panel, and clear in the middle, so you can I guess poke it and look at other people. But they've done that. Sorry, no, the shower curtains are on the The trams.
Oh,
Sorry,
okay.
the trams. The Seven Dwarfs does have dividers, but they're more solid. I think
Uh,
they're more. I'm looking at them right now. I think they're more like plexiglass panels. So
wow.
the top is clear and the bottom is brown to match the ride. And it keeps people from. The
Spitting on each
virus
other.
only knows how to go forward. The virus doesn't know how to go side to side. So that's really good.
Right.
Uh, Kidding. And they put the, like I said, the vinyl things on the trams. They have put. I think that's going to be a big, probably one of the biggest things is the dividers to
Yeah.
keep people to cut down on like face to face contact. And at the Haunted Mansion at Disney World.
Yeah.
Oh,
What's going on
well,
with that?
they cut out the elevator. They cut out the portrait the moving elevator.
Really?
Yep, they are circumventing people directly into the queue line because they
Wow.
don't want to herd people, in packs because if you think about it, what guests are in there for like, I don't know, maybe a couple minutes.
Right. And they're all cramped in.
And what do they always say? Move your bodies away and towards the dead center.
Right.
And it's like that has a whole new meaning now. So that's a little bit of a bummer because I think that
Wow.
compromises the show. And
Definitely.
I know I'm a former cast member and everything, so I'm big on the integrity of the show. What do you think about that?
Well, yeah, no, I agree with you. I mean, I think it does compromise the integrity of the show. And I'm really wondering what they're going to do with Disneyland because from what I understand, and I don't know like the backstage stuff in regards to our version of Haunted Mansion, but from what I understand, I mean, our elevator stretching room was built out of necessity to get underneath the berm and go out into the show building. I wonder how they're going to work that. Could they even do that here in Anaheim? Could they even
Yeah,
circumvent it?
I'm trying to think. I know that I know that as soon as the elevator at Disneyland, as soon as the elevator goes down and
Yeah.
you enter the portrait gallery, just to the right there's an exit there. If you chicken out and you're like, I can't do it, and you go, and I believe you go back. Where does it go? I've been down it, but it's been so long. Um, I think it brings you through a hallway that ends up bringing you out the side of the building
Oh, interesting. Okay.
at ground level. If you do that, you get to see the real original Pet Cemetery over on the.
Really?
Yeah, it's over on the first one's over on the side,
That's pretty
and I
cool.
think there's only like 4 or 5 grades, but yeah, that's the original one. Um, so I think that maybe, I don't know yet. Maybe they'll shift the queue line to actually enter that and
Yeah.
go down through there, because I believe that the hallway that leads from the portrait gallery to the outside, I believe that's themed as well. From what I remember, it's been quite a while. But I
Interesting.
will be curious to see how they do that, because you have to route people down there to get
Right.
under the berm, to get under
Yeah.
the train tracks.
Yeah. It's going to be very, very interesting to see how they work all that. And
Yeah,
California is under a lot more restrictions with COVID. We have a different governor in a different situation. So it'd be very interesting to see how they kind of work that whole situation with the Disneyland operations compared to that of Orlando.
maybe they will have a more limited number of groups in each of the elevators, since it is a necessary part of the ride. Like, you have to go down. They're either going to reroute it altogether, or I think they're going to have smaller groups in the elevators with maybe markers saying, everybody pick a skull and stand on the skull, and that'll keep you 6 feet apart. We're all gonna descend, and then you go do your thing.
Yeah, that's very possible. And I wanted to ask you, and I think this is kind of an interesting thing to kind of think about, and I wanted to talk to you about it. Like the whole idea, the whole concept of social distancing. I've seen a lot of the Disney parks around the world have now opened. So we've had like Shanghai is open for been a while now. Hong Kong, I think Tokyo just opened. Paris is opening soon. Florida
Mm-hmm.
opened today. but I see a lot of pictures coming in and video coming in of like people not following the social distancing. And it doesn't really matter where you're from, whether it be the United States, whether it be Shanghai or Hong Kong, Asia, whatever, it doesn't really matter. Yeah. There seems to be an issue with people following the social distancing. And I made a video yesterday saying that I feel like that's kind of partly because as human beings, we're social creatures. And this whole social distancing thing is sort of, it kind of runs counter to how we are as human beings. Yeah. But what are your thoughts on that? Is this something, is it kind of like herding cats? Is it kind of an impossibility? Like how we could, like, is it even possible to maintain this?
In a place like, I think Florida represents a much broader spectrum of visitors, and so you have people from down the street, you have people from another state, you have people from across the ocean, and everybody has, I think, is coming with a different idea of how they feel like they are social distancing. You know, because I think. The 6 foot thing is a standard. I think like in Europe, what is it? They say 1.3 meters.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. It all comes out the same in the math, but
right.
Or near there. But the first thing you've got is that everybody's got their own idea of like how they feel safe, what they feel safe doing, and what their personal parameters are of social distancing, regardless of whatever standards have been set. Is your mic okay?
Let's see.
Oh, your mic gave up.
I'm losing. There we go. I'm back.
Your mic said, "I'm not 6 feet away from you." Fall.
There we go.
The other thing is, I think that because as fans of the parks and as people have been to the parks many times, there's thousands of people. We would have to get used to that new behavior, because we are used to standing in line, we are used to bunching up, we are used to crowd. I mean, that's part of the excitement of Disneyland, is that there's a lot of people, you're interacting, it's social interacting, and we need that. And I think that kind of ties back to what I was saying, like there's an element that we need that. So there's behaviors that we've learned being theme park guests, that's how it is, that you are in line close up to people, you're sitting in a ride vehicle really close to other people. That's kind of like the community of it. So now we're being asked to do the complete opposite of that in this extremely social place, in this extremely fun place. And if you think about it, this is really one of the first times that you know, one of the things of the parks is that it keeps the real world out. It lets us escape.
Right.
There's no escaping this now.
Right.
Now it's right here. Like the outside world has come into Disneyland. And I know that probably sounds dramatic, but this really is the first time, if you think about it, that something huge in the outside world has come in and is affecting this world of fantasy. And so I think that is going to take some time for people to get used to. I mean, there's already videos out, you know, because everybody's looking for, for what's it called? They're looking for, I think we were talking about this. They're looking for misbehavior. They're looking for people who aren't following the rules.
Right.
And there's videos out of like, oh, look at the Seven Dwarfs ride. Look at how these people are bunching up, and the cast members didn't do anything about it, and they're trying to get the cast members fired now, or they're going to get them in trouble, or whatever they're doing. And then there were people raiding the one of the main stores at there's a shopping area outside the park, right? They're like a huge
in Florida.
Yeah, don't they have the equivalent of like downtown Disney?
They do. It's Disney Springs.
Yes, I momentarily forgot the name for a second. I don't know how I did that, but someone was videoing inside Disney Springs. They're like, look at this. this is crazy. This isn't 6 feet apart. There's all these people tearing at the new merchandise,
Oh my gosh.
which I know we're going to talk about as well.
Yeah.
So when you're dealing with the public, you're dealing with personalities, you're dealing with a lot of different opinions about who thinks what is safe, and it's it's a huge challenge. So I think Disney's just got to take it one day at a time as far as that goes.
Yeah, yeah. They're just gonna have to take it one day at a time, kind of evolve. And you're right. You brought up a really good point, Ian, about how like this is the first time we're seeing the real world kind of, come into that Disney world, and like, I mean, 9/11 happened and we saw changes with the parks, but it was always more about with 9/11, the changes that we saw were more about like the entry points. You got to do your bag check and screening. Right. But once you're in the park, there was no sign of 9/11, But now with COVID, it's like even when you're in the park, you're going to see, Sleeping Beauty with a surgical mask. I mean, it's like it's a completely different world now. Like you're not leaving that real world 100%. You're constantly seeing these reminders of it now.
Yep.
Where even 9/11 didn't have that,
No, I think this is in these unprecedented times.
Yes.
But I really, if you really think about it, the park's never been closed this long. The park has never had these kind of parameters put on it. These are like national guidelines that are being put on a theme park, besides their regular health standards. And I haven't seen Sleeping Beauty in a mask yet, and I hope I don't. I think they've been keeping the characters kind of at, like, hey, over here, hello. Well, because I was a character, and I know I'm supposed to say friends with, and there's a video about it on my channel, and but if you think about the characters, everybody hugs them.
Oh,
everybody
yeah.
touches them. So like if you're running up to Tigger in a day, Tigger probably hugs about 1,000 people.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
With little kids just like burying their little snotty faces into his chest, and then the next kid comes and wants to do. So I hadn't even crossed my mind when they started talking about how is Disney going to reopen. And then I was sitting here one night talking to a couple of my old friends from there, and we were like, oh my God, what are they going to do with the characters? Like, how are they going to do that? They're shaking hands, they're touching people,
yeah.
they're crowded. So I guess what they're doing is I saw it in Shanghai, they just they put them all on like a big float, and they're like, hey.
Oh right. My gosh.
We're not going to be able to touch the characters or go up and meet and greet with them for a while.
Well, and that's an interesting point that you brought up, because I always thought like, oh, well, if it, like for example, you brought up Tigger. I was thinking like, oh, well, Tigger has this big, plastic face. He's safe. Yeah. But like you mentioned, what about all the kids that like, lean up and there's snot all over the front of Tigger. And then the next kid comes up and he's bearing their face in that other kid's snot on Tigger. That's a source of spread. Yeah, that's a good point,
Let me tell you, I'll tell you, there were crowded days when, and if anybody doesn't want the magic of the character spoiled right now, just put it on mute for a minute. You can handle it. But there were days that were so crowded, and I was meeting and greeting with so many people that I would have to go get new Goofy gloves midday because they were filthy. They were absolutely filthy. And so like if you're a performer and you have a character head on, you're kind of,
you're
in
safe.
some cases you're kind of back there, or there's a screen. You are wearing a mask. You're wearing a mask that's shaped like a Disney character.
Yeah.
But it's a dirty job. It is a dirty job, and it's great. I loved it. It was one of the best jobs I've ever had. I have great memories, but it's hard work. It's sweaty, and it gets dirty. And next time, if things ever go back to complete normal and they have atmosphere characters out again, next time you go to the park, anybody, just watch the characters for a little bit and how many people they touch.
Wow, that's a
And
good
how many
point.
kids just they get in there.
Yeah.
And I love kids, but they touch everything.
Oh
They
yeah, they don't care.
they're all over, yeah, they're like this with their food, and they have half a churro stuck to their face, and
They got cotton candy in their hair. They don't care.
they're a mess. So yeah, they have, and I wonder how kids are gonna. I'm wondering how kids are gonna react to that. To
Yeah,
not being able to go up and see their favorite Disney character. I think that's really sad. It's
that is.
necessary right now, but it's very sad. But
Yeah.
at least I am glad that they're not having characters wear masks. They did that at Universal, like Beetlejuice, like
Oh wow,
the Scooby Doo gang. Like I'm like, no, 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 no. You can't do that. That
that's
totally
horrible.
compromises the. I think. Sorry,
Yeah.
I I think that really compromises the character.
So what Disney is doing with the characters, like for the face characters, so we're to, like the princesses and things like that. What they're doing is they're just opting to have those characters up on a float or up on a balcony or something like that. They're not going to have them wearing masks in with the crowd. Is that?
Yeah, and I'm so glad.
That's a
At
good
least we can get
decision.
a picture. I saw something. I think Gaston came out on a horse. I
Oh
think I
yeah, yeah,
saw.
I saw that. And Merida from Brave.
So he came out on a horse, but then there were hosts. The people who the handlers of the characters. They were kind of making a space. So you had these people in masks making a space for a character to come out. The character was on something that distanced them from people, in this case, a horse.
Yeah.
Up there flexing or doing whatever he does. And I guess you could just, if you were in that crowd, you could just take a picture from there. That's weird.
Yeah. That is
That's
weird.
really weird to me.
That is
I
weird.
aside from putting each of them in a big bubble, I don't know what else to do.
Yeah, that is a little weird. Yeah, I saw the Gaston and I saw the Merida where she was on her horse. It is weird. It's
Did you
very
say Marita?
or Merida.
Did you just say Marita?
Merida,
Like Pat Marita?
yeah.
It's Merida.
Merida. It is very weird. It's like you're separating. I don't know, these characters. I like you said, like kids love to come up and give them a hug, and it's very social. It's very loving, and it's just now with this whole thing with like they're like on these pedestals and like these. It feels very awkward and weird now, right?
Yeah, I'm curious to see how that pans out over time. Because I mean, there are kids who want to go there to do that
Right.
more than anything else. They
Yeah.
don't give a crap about the rides. It's fun to be there and stuff. But there are kids like they are just that, that is their goal. They want to go there
Yeah.
and meet Mickey Mouse, or they want to meet their favorite princess, or Aladdin or somebody. Um, but it's really very sad because I think that they're doing the best that they can
Yeah.
in circumstances without again compromising the show too much. Because I think there's an element that like a child seeing Mickey Mouse in a mask or Sleeping Beauty in a mask or Chip and Dale in masks.
Yeah.
I think that's asking too much of kids
Yeah.
to normalize that and see their heroes, succumbing to this thing that's happening in the real world. So I think that we have to preserve that at
Right.
at however that looks right now. But I hope they never put masks on characters. I do. Just keep them over there.
Yeah.
Let Billy stand over here with Mickey in the background or whatever. And
Yeah.
that would be kind of crushing for me personally.
That's a great point, Ian. And yeah, that is true. I mean, as a child, going to the parks and seeing your idol, the character you look up to and love so much, and then to see them in a surgical mask, it just kind of it's just something wrong about it.
No, I don't want. No, I don't want to see that. And I don't think kids should be subjected to that. And I don't know what the laws are in like I'm in Phoenix,
Okay.
and right now there is an ordinance for our county that we do have to wear masks.
Yeah.
Our governor passed that, and everyone's been really good about it. I mean, they kind of you do have a choice. Nobody's really enforcing it, but I haven't really. I've been out plenty, and I haven't seen any big problems with that. But children 6 and under don't have to wear one.
Good.
Understandably, because babies don't know why. Babies don't even want to wear hats.
Right.
They're not going to wear a mask, and that way, I think it's easier to control too for kids. And kids are statistically not a large demographic for this virus. Like it's more like my mom is very high risk
Yeah.
because she's in her 70s. She has a heart condition. She has
Oh, yeah.
so she's from New York, so she's been very sassy about this.
Oh, yeah.
She's like, what am I going to do? I'm going to just stay in my house the rest of my life? Boring. I got to get out of here. But she's very good about wearing her mask. And
Good.
we go grocery shopping together, and
Oh. Oh.
she's a pip. You should have her on. Yeah, she's a trip.
Oh. Now, do you think, like, in terms of, because, okay, so like after 9/11, the security features, a lot of those security things that they implemented in the parks stayed with Disney parks long after the event, not long after September 11th. Yeah. Like the bag checks, the security screenings. Do you think that the COVID stuff, we're going to see stuff that lasts well beyond the COVID? Are we going to see the social distancing or the masks or anything like that, or well beyond the vaccine, well beyond COVID? Is it anything long lasting?
That's a good question.
In your opinion, or
my opinion?
In your opinion,
I think that, let's see, as far as that stuff, I think what will be not prolonged, but what will be propagated into future practices for some time is definitely social distancing, I think. And probably a new standard of cleanliness. Because I'm sure you thought about this too when you heard about the parks reopening. I was like, oh my God, how are they going to keep everything clean? Like, how are they going to, the ride vehicles and eating areas? And I don't even know what they're doing with eating areas. Are they spacing that out?
They're spacing them out. I think they're only seating like every other table and things like that. Yeah.
I think that the social distancing and levels of cleanliness, I do think masks will go away eventually. I do. I don't know when. I think that we've still got some kind of ups and downs coming our way with this. Like, for example, out here in Arizona, like now the big thing is that everyone feels that they open too soon, and restaurants open, and not everything open, but restaurants open and stuff. And my day job, I work at a restaurant, so I went back to work, and now here we are again, and the restaurant pulled back, and this has been happening all over the city. So I think there are going to be, like, you're not going to see the barriers come down anytime soon.
Yeah.
Because that takes time to install. Like I said, I do think masks will go away, and I think that there'll be a lot more work put into cleanliness.
Yeah.
That's a lot of work. Oh my God, that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
I don't see anyone who's working on a ride right now. I do not envy them at all. And probably the fever checks are going to be a thing that will continue, at least for employees.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I think the fever checks are probably they're just gonna be part and parcel to the bag checks. They're gonna scan your bag, and then they're gonna scan your forehead, and then you're gonna go on in. Like you said before, the plexiglass, the little barriers. yeah, it takes time to install all that stuff, and that stuff
Yeah,
is probably going to stick around for a while.
until
Mask,
like they're absolutely sure.
right, until it's absolutely gone. The mask will probably go away in a couple months or so when things kind of drop to a reasonable level. The social distancing thing that's also going to go away because I don't think that's really sustainable in a theme park long term.
It's not. I mean, look, we're day in,
Yeah,
and it's not happening.
it's not happening.
It's
Exactly.
not. I do think that people think a mask is a catch-all, and then
Right.
it's just like, I'm Iron Man now, and
Right.
it just doesn't work that way.
No.
I think it's a great precaution because it does keep you from if you accidentally spit on somebody, or if you're very what did the Prime Minister of Canada said? He said speaking moistly.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet he wishes he could rewind that tape. But
Yeah.
oh my God. But it definitely cuts down on spittle and the droplets and all that stuff that they keep talking about. But everybody knows it's not it's not the Harry Potter cloak. It doesn't
Right.
it doesn't fix
Exactly.
everything. That was a bad analogy, but um uh I do think that that's going to go away. But people have to learn, kind of retrain themselves about like
Yeah.
how to, and that bums me out a little bit because I do like the rush and I like the energy of a very social buzz place with a buzz where
Right.
there's lots of excitement happening. That's one of the reasons we go there, like we
Right.
mentioned earlier. So I guess we'll see, but it ain't going
Anytime
not
soon.
going as planned so far. Have you ever had one of the a temperature check with the gun thing?
Yeah, I actually recently I got my annual doctor's physical, and it was like 2 weeks ago, I think, or 3 weeks ago. And I actually there I had it done. You walk in, and he was very there. That whole office was very precautious. But you walk in, and that's the first thing they do. They scan your forehead, and
Okay.
if you're over, I think over 100, you can't get in. You know, and but yeah,
Yeah, because I think it's like 8 to 10 degrees lower than your actual body temperature. They were doing that at my work, and I just brought my thermometer. I'm like, here, and like, look, here's my real temperature,
yeah.
and it was always like 97 something. Are you all good? You checked out with your
I was all good. I was perfect. It came back.
A
Everything was
okay?
great. He even ran he even ran because in January I had a really bad cold with a cold, a cough, the whole thing. So he's like, you know what? I'm going to do the antibody test on you when I do your blood because I want to see if maybe you had it back in January. Maybe, you never know. But it came back negative. I didn't have it. It was just a cold.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was just a cold. But everything came out perfect. I'm healthy as can be. So that's good. That's very good.
Okay. Well, you look healthy. You look great. So that's good. I need to go get a physical. I'm healthy, but I need to get a physical because I'm a little overdue. But no doctors have been open, so
It's
now I can. I
crazy.
know I'm going to the dentist in a couple weeks. I'm very excited about that because I love the dentist.
Yeah, it was first time back since COVID for the dentist. First
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah. I used to hate the dentist. Um, I'm looking at a picture. It's I think it's on Twitter. It's the Disney. It's at Disney Food Blog.
Oh, okay.
Do you know them?
I don't think I do actually. I don't think I do.
Okay, yeah, you can look them up. I found one of their tweets, and they had pictures of the stretching room in the what I got a more succinct idea of what they did in Florida. So what they do is they put up the ropes, like the red scansions, like you're going
Okay.
to a movie premiere, and they herd you right through the stretching room. So
Oh,
they're not going
interesting.
around the stretching room, but you're going directly through it. So it's not an element of the, and the portraits are already stretched.
Oh, gotcha. So it's
Yeah.
just another room then. You just kind of go through it like another room, like
You
a
go through
hallway.
it, you go, okay, cool. And his comment was R.I.P. stretching room. So I thought that
Oh,
was, but no, let's not lose hope. We're going to get back to the stretching room.
yeah, we'll get it back.
I,
We,
you must know that Haunted Mansion is my favorite ride.
you love it. You absolutely love it.
Yeah, I love it. Great.
So what one do you love? What one do you prefer? You prefer Florida's or Anaheim's? What's your favorite?
Oh, I think I talked about this. I made a video a while back about things that need to be fixed in Disneyland, and I had a little section on the Haunted Mansion. And what I love the Haunted Mansion's mansion. I love the outside. Like
Yeah.
that's my favorite of all of them. You know, because it goes with New Orleans and it looks great. Um, but one of the things that I always thought could and should be fixed is the load area, because it's just this kind of ethereal open area that doesn't really have, it doesn't feel connected to the rest of everything else. Remember they used to have the really big, the giants. Oh no, it's still there. The spider web, and
Yes.
now there's even more webs. But it's just this kind of like really big black cavernous luminous area. But you are already in the house. So I think what I mentioned on there was, why not take a missing element from an element that's missing from ours, and borrow it from Florida, and that is the library. Like, why not make that area just beyond the loading area, the library?
Yeah.
And you could have, it could be the same. It could be the busts. You maybe occasionally see a book move, or you could see the ladder shimmy a little bit,
Yeah.
and that would connect it to the rest of the house. I always felt that the load area was kind of an idea that never really fully happened. I'm never sure what it was supposed to be.
That's a good point. Yeah, I definitely can see what you're saying. I never actually thought about that before. Now that you mentioned it, I'm looking at it, I'm like, yeah, you're right. It doesn't really feel, it's not fully cohesive.
It's not, because you are already in the house. And so
Right.
why does the house have, and then you go right up the stairs into the rest of the house. So like, why does it have this giant area like that that's not defined or anything? I think there's like a green glow there.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's kind of like, oh, this is the spirit world and stuff like that. But even that doesn't make sense to me, because the spirits, the story is that the spirits don't emerge until like the middle of the ride. They don't show themselves until the middle of the ride. So it's weird.
Right.
It's just weird. And you know what else I love? I love the music room in Florida.
Yes.
I love that room. I wish we had that I mean, we have the conservatorium, which is
Yeah.
great with the, let me out of here. And I love that too, but I wish we had both,
Yeah,
because
that
most architecturally, historically speaking, most colonial houses, mansions would always have a music room.
wow.
Always. They always had a space where you could go, because that was like people's YouTube.
Right. Yeah,
Go
exactly.
and sit down and hear somebody sing, or play a piano piece. So I do miss those parts. And I do like that you walk through our gallery as opposed to theirs. You ride through it. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's
I
your What's
I
your favorite ride? I don't even know.
it's weird. I kind of have like, it's weird when it comes to Disneyland. I honestly kind of don't have a favorite ride. I kind of just love, it's just kind of all of it. I love going and just absorbing the atmosphere and the environment and just being there. Like there's nothing that when I go, that I have to go on. If I'm there with a friend that likes, Indian Jungle Cruise, and we just ride Indian Jungle Cruise that time, I'm
Yeah.
cool with it. If I'm there with a friend that only rides Small World and Tiki Room, I'm cool with it. I just love being there. As corny as it sounds, I just love being there, no matter what I go on. So I don't really have a favorite. I really don't. I kind of enjoy each piece, each element for kind of what it is, you know?
I don't think that's corny at all. I could go there just some days and never even go on a ride. I like being around people. I like to
Yeah.
watch how people react to things. I like to look for details. I mean, I like the mansion the best. because Mansion and Pirates because it's from a certain era.
Yeah,
And I think that was really like a Disneyland Renaissance, one of the Disneyland Renaissance
totally.
when those rides emerged. And
The 1960s era,
oh
Imagineering.
my God, if I could go, if I could be born and work for Disney at a time, I would have wanted to be an Imagineer during the 60s, like
Yeah.
hands down. But Haunted Mansion is my favorite because I'm a bit of a ghoul. I love Halloween. I decorate my whole building. I make my own stuff. I make tombstones. I make all sorts of stuff. And I don't know what it is. Just spookiness appeals to me. I don't
That's
like
cool.
gore, but I like
Yeah.
spookiness.
Yeah.
And I like the element of making an area look like something. I love the Tower of Terror lobby.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
endlessly fascinating to me. Like everybody just went and just got sucked out, and
Yeah.
they were right in the middle of doing all these things, and then like that's just aged, and that's
Yeah.
creepy. I don't know why I'm like that. I don't know what because I was a total scaredy cat when I was a kid.
Well, and the cool thing, about, like you mentioned, you don't like the gore. Well, that's kind of the cool thing about the Haunted Mansion and about the Hollywood Tower is the subtleties of it.
Mm-hmm.
It implies a lot, but it doesn't throw it in your face. And it's just kind of like you said, the creepiness of walking into the Tower of Terror hotel lobby and everything is like, just kind of at a standstill.
Yeah.
It's that creepiness. It doesn't have to like be in your face and tell you what's going on. You kind of, your brain sort of, your imagination runs with it,
Yeah, I don't like things that tell me what they are.
Yeah.
That I get. We'll talk about this another time, maybe closer to Halloween or something. But
Yeah.
like Constance Hatchaway. I miss the old bride. I don't like when things tell you that they're scary.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Exactly.
maybe we'll collab on that and we'll talk about the evolution of the bride and what works in Haunted Mansion, what doesn't, what maybe doesn't work or could be better. I don't know.
I would love to. We could definitely do that. Once that spooky season arrives, we'll definitely do that collabo and talk about it. It may be a lot of fun,
I love that you call it collabo.
Collabo.
Do you want to talk about merchandise?
Yes, let's talk about merch. The other day, Disney released some of their 65th anniversary stuff, right? And what are your thoughts on some of that merchandise? I have a lot of thoughts about them.
I want to hear. I'll tell you what. You tell me your thoughts. Tell us your thoughts. And because I drag and drop pictures.
Oh, perfect.
I took a look at everything last night, but I want to bring the pictures up so I don't miss anything. I don't know if what I have is everything, but I get the general gist of what's there. So what do you think?
Well, okay. So my thoughts are, and this might be a little harsh. I kind of feel okay. Aside from like a couple of the pins, there was a few pins in there that were pretty cool. I like that one. It was it was all metal with it was like like the map of the.
I think I have that.
That one is awesome.
No, I don't have it. I just mean I have a picture of that.
Yes, that one was gorgeous. But outside of that, it all kind of felt just like Disney was like, you know what? We got a lot of leftover 60th merchandise we got to get rid of. Let's just, throw a new logo on there, pump it out.
Yeah.
Like even the ears, the blue ears.
I saw that.
They look the same as the 60th. I wasn't too impressed, I mean, like I said, I like the pin. I like the new logo. I like the 65th, that retro 1960s looking logo.
Yeah.
Outside of that, though, I wasn't really feeling it too much. What are your feelings on it? Are you a Spirit jersey guy, Ian?
No. No. In the 90s when I was working there, was the emergence of these over embroidered, like super decorated articles of clothing.
Yeah.
Every button down T-shirt had remember the characters right here?
Oh yeah,
and
coming out of the pocket. Yes.
Or these giant giant logos on the back that had so much stitching, so much embroidery that the fabric didn't even bend. And there were jean jackets like that. I'm more subtle.
Yeah, me too.
And I'm a little more. I'm a kid of the '80s. Anything retro '80s, I love.
Right.
Anything with more of a throwback look, I love. So I pulled up all this merchandise, and there's a couple things that I really like, and then a couple things I don't quite get, and then a couple things I'm like, that could have been, that didn't need to be made. Um, did you? So you talked about the pins. I'm looking at the silver pin right here, and it's a
Yeah.
map of the park.
That one's cool. That one's very retro,
It
very cool.
is. It is really cool. I don't quite. Well, nope. I just had a revelation. There's another pin that says 1955 to 1950. I'm sure you're. Are you gonna? I'm sure you're gonna. Uh, maybe show thumbnails of this.
Yes, I'll show the
Here
pictures.
they come, folks.
Here they
Um,
come.
they made a Hatbox Ghost pin
I saw that
that
one.
says 1955 to 2020. And at first I thought, don't put him on there because you didn't even put him back until 2015.
Right.
But and he wasn't even there till 1969.
Right, exactly.
So I kind of feel like that's just kind of a grab
Yeah.
at something that's iconic and popular. And I'm like, I see you. I see what you're doing. I do love the pin with the Disneyland sign
Oh, me
that are
too.
the unlevel blocks with the characters all around it.
Yes.
I think that's really adorable. Um, there's on the Mr. Toad pin.
Oh, I love Mr. Toad. You can't go wrong with Mr. Toad.
Yeah. And I hope that they don't take that out of Disneyland.
Oh, me too. Me
Yeah.
too.
I don't think they will. There's no room to expand Fantasyland. They need to keep what's there as it is. So
Yeah.
I guess we'll see. The clothing, I think
Yeah.
the clothing, it doesn't. There is a really cute, like a button-down short sleeve shirt, like what I'm wearing, and I don't think it's cute because I'm wearing one. I just think it's cute because it's cute. Which has little like portraits of characters all over it. It
Oh,
looks like a
cool.
bunch of logos. So it's got you'll throw that up here.
Yeah, I'll throw it up.
Now I'm gonna preemptively say, hey, look, here it is.
Here it is.
It's blue. I love these kind of shirts. It's light blue in the back, and it has just a repeating pattern of characters and the D from the old Disneyland sign.
Yeah.
Oh, and there's a little mushy squishy Harold from
Oh, from the Matterhorn.
yeah, yeah. Which is weird. Are there more of those? Like what? Did
I
they
was
just
wondering the
make
same
him?
thing. Like, is it just gonna be just him, or is this like a new line they're gonna have with like various retro characters? Or
Yeah. I don't get into stuffed animals, but I will admit that I think that's really cute.
yeah,
That shirt is the all I have. And granted, I have not seen. I don't think I've seen all the merchandise.
yeah.
There's one that I really don't like, and it's like a long sleeve. Is it a hoodie? No, it's a long sleeve, thick shirt.
Oh, the spirit jersey with the happiest. Is it with the happiest place on
Oh,
earth
so
on the
that's a
back?
Spirit jersey.
That's the spirit jersey.
Oh, I was thinking of like like a Letterman's jacket. What does that have to do with it? A jersey is a T-shirt.
Yeah, the Disney Spirit jerseys are like that. They're the long sleeve with the rubber lettering on the back.
Yeah, I'm looking at it, and that's the kind of merchandise I don't like.
Yeah.
I typically I don't wear a lot of like I don't even know what you call that. I don't wear a lot of like with clothes with giant phrases on them or
Yeah.
I like to keep. I'm very set in my ways with logos and stuff. If I'm wearing a logo, I want it to be
Right.
right here on my chest. I don't want it to be like all over the shirt, all over the shirt. All that
Yeah.
stuff.
And
I'm not into that stuff.
me neither. Like I like I would, I would wear, like, let's say for example, the shirt you're wearing now, which I absolutely love.
Oh,
The shirt
thanks.
you're wearing now, I've seen, I've seen Disney, sell shirts like that, like, where there's like maybe like really hidden, small, like little Mickeys in there that you can see them, but they're kind of mixed in. It looks like a regular shirt, but if you really look, you can see the Disney elements. That kind of stuff I love, but like the stuff, like you said, like with the huge embroidery all over the front and the back and the rubber. And
it's not my style.
It's not mine either.
It works. I've seen people wear it, and I'm like,
yeah,
that works. I can't do it.
Yeah, me neither.
It works on them. You know how there's like 50th, there's like a diamond anniversary, a gold anniversary, a silver anniversary, whatever. Does 65th have an accompanying title?
I don't think it does. I think the next one that has a title, and I don't even know what it is actually, is 75 years. I think it is the next one. It's a big, but I thought, and I could be mistaken, I thought 75th was diamond, but they've kind of already used that for 60th, right?
They already used it, yeah.
I don't know.
Well, they're using it again. Have you seen the mini years? They're like,
oh yeah, totally.
Apparently, also the blue. They went with a lot of blue.
They went with blue again
this time around.
Yeah, they did blue again. Now, do you remember the 50th anniversary for Disneyland? The gold, all the gold and all that.
Let's see. That was okay. So that
was like 2005 era.
Okay. I was just out of university. I was living in New York, so I wasn't super focused on what was going on at Disneyland. I know they changed the castle. I know that there was. I was there for the 40th and 45th anniversaries.
Oh, okay, cool.
Because the 40th was the big Indiana Jones one.
Yes.
That was 40 years of it. I loved that promotion. I thought that was terrific. Just a really strong promotion with a lot of forward momentum, a lot of really fun merchandise. And I love Indiana Jones, so everything was Indiana Jones that year. Speaking of that, I don't know, maybe this is a little plug, but I finally dug out my old DVDs of all my footage from those years of performing and stuff like that. And a friend of mine is nice enough to be getting them transferred into digital files.
Nice.
So one of them is there's some 40th anniversary stuff in there because I did the Rose Parade that year. I did the Disneyana 40th anniversary show, which that was only the second time that Disneyana had been at Disneyland instead of Disney World. And it was this show with Indiana Jones and all these characters that you never see. Anyway, that was a lot of fun. So I hope to be making a video about.
Nice.
Sorry for the plug. I wasn't trying to hijack your video for a second.
No. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah. Okay? Here's a question. What of this would you buy?
Okay. of the new merch?
Yeah.
I would probably buy that metallic pin of the map, the Mr. Toad. I like the Mr. Toad. Yeah. Maybe that button-up shirt that you mentioned. That was pretty cool. And I think outside of that, that's probably it. To be honest with you,
I wonder if that's the only shirt.
It seems like it. I mean, there was a T-shirt, I think, of like Walt and like the. There was a T-shirt of like the e-tickets and stuff, but it was kind of cluttery. But yeah, I think that button up and those two pins are pretty much all I would probably go for.
Yeah.
What would you?
There was something else that looked like postcards, and I wasn't sure if that's what it was.
I think that's it. I think that maybe it's the postcard one. Yeah.
Okay, so those are postcards, and I don't know what they are.
Yeah, they're like they're like postcards or e-tickets or something, but they were like black and white. Walt was standing there, and there was like a bunch of different.
Oh, that's on a shirt.
Yes.
Yeah, there's the Disneyland sign and him. And
yes.
All the mishmash between them, like, oh my, that's too much happening.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
Yeah. But here they are, and I would definitely do my number one would be the Mr. Toad pin.
Yeah. Oh, I'm
not even a pin person.
Yeah.
What do you have? What would you say you have the most of in your collection?
Okay, so I have I don't know if you can see from here, but I have a lot of pins, but I'm not a pin trader. Yeah. What I do is I'll get like a kind of like a what do you call those? Like those boxes that you can, the box frames.
Shadow box.
Shadow box. That's exactly it. And I'll put them in there. So I got a couple of shadow boxes with a lot of pins. I collect those. I will buy clothing, but like you, I buy a lot of the subtle stuff. I don't buy a lot of stuff that's, like the big rubber logos and things like that.
Yeah.
So
I can't do it.
I can't do it.
There's enough of me to go around. I don't need to put a big logo on top of it.
But but what do you usually get? What's your collection? When you go, like, what do you usually gravitate towards?
I definitely gravitate towards pins and statues, I think. I don't have a gigantic Disney collection. I'm really, because I work there. You know what? Because I work there. And yeah. I went through my time of having all my Disney stuff, and I had a ton of it. I have posters. I love Disney posters, and I have quite a collection of those that go all the way back to like the 60s.
Wow.
So I have those. I'm big on toys. You can see my case back there, yeah. Which I have to upgrade soon to make more room. But I like I'm very, very, very picky about Disney stuff.
Yeah.
If something has to really, not picky like, oh, I don't like that, but I'm very selective about what I think I really would like to have. So I can't believe I did this. I did get the Funko Pop Haunted Mansion pops.
Oh, cool.
Because yeah. And I didn't think I was going to get those. And I'm trying to get they released one of the Organists.
Oh, nice.
And I can't find it. So if any of you out there know where it is.
Yeah, comment below. Link it.
link it. Put it in a comment. Like, tell us where to get that, because I have no idea where that is. Any Haunted Mansion stuff I usually find appealing, but even that I'm really selective about, because I only have so much room.
Yeah.
And I want the ability to look at your display back there. Look how nice that is. Yeah. Look at everybody.
Well,
nice, and you get, so I want to stay in that area. I don't want to be the person who has stuff everywhere and like.
Oh yeah.
No, I that's how I am. I like to be organized.
Yes, I'm the same way. I'm very I'm almost even borderline OCD. Like I'm very, yeah. I need it very, I don't like it just.
Oh, are you? Okay, well, there it is.
There it is. I had a buddy. He, God bless him. Like, very close friend of mine. He was an older gentleman, but he loved Disney. He's been a lifelong Disney fan. He passed away a few years ago, and I love this guy to death. But me and him were so opposite in our collecting habits. Like he would, like, his entire apartment, it was like packed. Like it was just you couldn't even walk. I mean, he had collectibles on the ground, on the floor. I mean, hanging from the ceiling from strings. I mean, you couldn't even go into his apartment like without hitting your head on something. It was crazy. But Bruce, his name was Bruce, and he was a phenomenal guy and a huge Disney fan, and I loved him to death. But he was that guy. He didn't care how he hung it. If he had to hang a picture on top of another one, he would. It was a clutter. But he loved Disney, and it was all over his apartment, man.
I wish they would do a series on that.
Oh yeah,
like just people that collect certain franchises, and just people who just like their entire house is that. Just go and do it. I have two friends who are Haunted Mansion enthusiasts, way more than me. I'm like, and I like the idea of it. They like the merch, so they at Halloween time they have their entire house is Haunted Mansion. Like they have every single thing that has ever happened. They have a really nice setup. They have a big Halloween party, so it's quite a sight to see.
That's awesome.
But I'm like, I really like Haunted Mansion, but I don't want all that stuff.
Yeah.
I just want a few things.
Right.
So
exactly. There's a few things.
We're both merchandise geeks a little bit.
Yeah. No, I'm with you on that. I like to have a few things on there to kind of have them in my space, but I don't want to go overboard. And that's why like I collect pops, but I'm very, very selective about my pops, like you are, because
Yeah.
it can get out of hand, before you
There's
know
so
it. You're like,
many.
yeah.
They're
There's
making them of like I can't even keep up. I can't. No, no, no. So I'm just doing, and I don't even really have a lot of pops anyway. If there's a really good, and I'm like I said, I'm big on 80s, and if there's a really good 80s franchise that they make pops of,
yeah,
I'll usually get them. Like I have Goonies pops, I have Dark Crystal pops,
that's
stuff like that.
awesome.
I'm very loyal to the 80s because that was my time.
That's
So,
awesome.
but I, and it's nice. It's interesting to see the merchandise evolve. And one thing I wanted to mention about the graphics in this, I really like the way that they are, the graphic design of Mickey and Minnie
Me too. I
in
loved it.
merchandise. He's probably the hardest character. The two of them are probably the hardest characters to merchandise.
Wow.
Because they are. It's so hard to freshen them up
Right? Yeah,
and
yeah.
make them new again. I bet that is because when I was drawing for Disney, that was really difficult to do. And luckily, I was there during a time when they hadn't had all these new reinventions, reincarnations of him. People were happy with the classic version of him, but he is hard to merchandise. And so I applaud
Yeah.
anybody who comes up with a new kind of vibrant version of him. And I love these. I love the incomplete lines. I love
Yes.
the uh, that it's not the usual solid black outline.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
it,
a very between the Mickey and Minnie and between the old school Disneyland logo. It's very mid-century. I really love it. It's a throwback for sure.
yeah.
Absolutely. Actually, I'm going to show you something. Let me see. I think I have it over here. One second, because since you love Haunted Mansion, so one
Oh,
moment.
oh, you're gonna taunt me? He's gonna taunt me. Let's see what surprises he brings.
Like this is very very relevant today, but I have a
Oh, the wallpaper.
yeah. It's a
You make that?
no. Actually, my sister got this for me.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. But I was like, you know what? That's pretty awesome. I'll DM you the where she got it. I don't know
Okay.
exactly where she got it,
I'd
but
love to have one of just the Hatbox Ghost grin.
oh, that'd be great.
Because he's missing a tooth and he has a gold tooth. And, that would be a lot of fun. So yeah, I think the some of the merchandise is really fantastic, and some of it,
Yeah,
there's so many Disney clothes. Do we really need more?
I
More
know. I know. I know. It
so
comes
many.
to a point. And I think that like this is a 65th anniversary. It's kind of an off year in a way. I think they're really going to go hard with everything on the 75th anniversary. That's going to be like the next big one for Disneyland. I think Walt Disney World will get a lot of great stuff for its 50th this year, or no, 50th next year. But Disney's weird because their celebrations are like 18 months. So it's kind of odd to, but yeah, they'll get some really cool stuff because I think they're really gonna push for that 50th, that nostalgia, But
Maybe they'll stretch the celebrations out longer so more people have a chance to get there. Because not everybody's going to go right away.
exactly,
So maybe, who knows? Maybe they'll extend it a little bit. Everything's getting extended right now.
yeah. So we'll see. We'll see. But Ian, thank you, brother. Thank you for coming on. I do appreciate it. Thank you so much. It was really fun talking to you. And before we go though, I want you to once again remind everybody where they can find you on like YouTube, social media, and what have you.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So my channel is Opinion. It's right here, so you can. There's that. And I do movie reviews. I talk about animation. I have some toy reviews. I do a lot of different stuff, and I'm getting back to that very soon because there's been a lot of life going on. So I welcome you and invite you to come check out my channel. And of course, check out Christopher at Orange Grove 55. He's my YouTube buddy, and I think he's a really interesting guy and always so good to talk to. So yeah, I definitely want to thank you for having me on. And anytime we need, there's plenty more to talk about.
Definitely,
So I'd be
definitely.
happy to. and I'll have you on my channel too.
That'd be great, Ian. Yeah, and I will definitely have you on. We'll talk about closer to Halloween. We'll do the Haunted Mansion stuff and all that good stuff. So, and actually, you know what? Maybe we can even do like because you mentioned you love 80s. Maybe we can even do like an 80s video or something and talk about the 80s Disney and all that. That'd be really fun.
Oh yeah, there's Videopolis, there's Star Tours, there's everything that opened in the 80s. Oh, I'm game. You putting that card down? I see your 80s and I raise you a Videopolis. So yeah, I'm happy to.
We will definitely do it. And thank you all so much for watching. And as always, have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everybody.